Christmas in August. It's Kentucky Downs. Trusted profits. It's the formula here. And yes, we're going to be talking through opening day for Kentucky Downs happening on August 29th, this Thursday. It's coming up. Yes, they released the cards already for Thursday and Saturday. So I might try to record both of these. Let's see how it goes. See how the first one goes. Going in a little bit fresh. Let's look at some background data first, right? Everybody loves some background data. So 2023 jockeys and how they fared at Kentucky Downs last year. Tyler Gaffalione on top. He got 71 mounts, 17% of the time the winner, 12 in total, and finishing in the money 41% of the time. The top three are finishing in the money about the same percentage of the time, 41, 41, 42, and that's Gaffalione, Rosario, and Giroux. Also, significant mention there in the money 46% of the time, Jose Ortiz. Also had 14% win. He also had fewer mounts, 35 compared to 48, 51, and 71 for the top three. So yeah, definitely some interesting takeaways here. IRAD getting in the money a lot, but not winning a lot. 11% of the time, only getting 38 mounts for IRAD, who's usually a top dog wherever he goes. So yeah, just some things to keep in mind there, especially when talking about jockeys. As we move on, let's talk about trainers as well. Brendan Walsh, ownership tour for him. 28 starts, 8 wins. He's by far the biggest, right? 29% of the time winning. Brian Lynch, only 10 entries, and he won 3, so that's why he gets 30%. I think Brendan Walsh definitely coming out looking a little bit more impressive there. Last year, Michael Maker went into Kentucky Downs being one of the trainers to watch. Has had huge success there before, and only 9% of the time, 5 out of 53, was he the winner, but still 45% in the money. Top three trainers: Walsh, Maker, and Safi Joseph Jr. Looking pretty good there. Yeah, so also Graham Motion in 14 races, 21% win rate, 50% in the money. Bill Mott in there, 14 races, 2 wins for 14% win rate, 57% in the money. So got a hunt and peck there. You see Brad Cox is in there, 15%, 54% in the money. It's a different group. It's a different crowd. Let's move on to the individual races, shall we? Yeah, let's go for race one. Oh, man, it is a little tight reading this. I understand. Trying to pack a lot of information in the chart there. Maybe I'll remove some of these things going forward, but let's just talk through the specifics here. Who's the pace setter for this race going to be? Taco Cat backwards, which, by the way, is Taco Cat. Looking to be the pace setter here. But again, we're talking about maidens for this race, right? So maidens going 6.5 on turf. Of course, it's on turf. We're Kentucky Downs. So about half the field we haven't seen yet. So we might have a pace setter in there other than Cat backwards. Safe play here for me is the number 8 horse, Ramsey Pond at 4-1. Combo of Safi and Gaffy with good closing numbers. Best last race of the group per my calculations. And 8-1 on Taco Cat backwards. Likely to set the pace here in a short race. Could end up going gate to wire. Florent Giroux is the jockey here, getting a little bit of a jockey upgrade, plus Mark Cassey, and ran best workouts previous to this race. Moving on, who else we got going on here? Blue Coast is the pace setter in this race here. This is an allowance race worth, am I reading that right? 250K? 6.5 furlongs. No one here having any Kentucky Downs experience. I'm going to note that when I do see it in some of these races, because I think it is going to make a difference because it's such a different track. Pace advantage here for Blue Coast. I'm also saying that is why he is the safe play, 3-1. Walsh Gaffleone, deadliest combo at KD. 1 race, 1 win, 1 gate to wire win at Ellis Park for Blue Coast. The value play here for me is the number 9 horse, Heat. You're getting 61 on Heat, 6-1 morning line. Cassie and Rosario dropping down in class. This horse has a solid close as well, which you always like to see on turf. All right, moving on. The pace setter in race 3, in my opinion. You got a couple horses here that look like they're pretty close to the pace, but one sticks out to me, and that's Caradia. Safe play for me here, though. I'm going up to Tom Collins. I'm going to pass the Walsh horse here, the only firster in the race. And I'm going to go to Tom Collins at 9-2. Does sit close to the pace, just off the pace, which is something I usually like to look for. We'll see what happens here at KD, though. Doesn't show much of a fade, which is good. Strong races last time out. One of the best improvements of the class here. So I'm looking for horses that jump up, starting to show improvement to get some value there. Speaking of value, the 8-horse Creek at 15-1. Mott trained horse. Got closer to the paces last time out, even though I'm showing him here as being 2 tiers back. He was a little bit closer to the pace last time, showing best in class of the group or best class of the group. So at 15-1, giving you some value on Creek and Jamie Torres. Pace setter in race 4. Going to be somewhere between Lucky Speech and Lucky Combination, 2 lucky horses, no sire relation between the two, which is interesting. But there are 4 horses in this race total, a small field for Kentucky Down standards, 10 horses. 4 horses here have gone gate to wire, so there's definitely potential for some pace burnout here in this race. Lucky Speech, Lucky Combination look to be the pace setters to me. But the safe play, I'm going to go up top here at the number 3 horse, Sabalenka, at 9-2. Ran second at this distance in Kentucky Downs last year. Upgraded Tyler Gaffleone as the jockey in this race. Only horse from this race to actually have Kentucky Downs experience in the last 10 races. Also best in class. The value play here for me, I'm going way down to the 8-horse here, Queen's Command at 15-1, trying to find a horse here that has been good at the distance. Queen's Command fits that bill. Ran 12 furlongs at Santa Anita in February. Good enough for second place in a G3 race there under Phil D'Amato before switching over to, I believe we said this is Asmussen? Yeah. Oh, sorry. Brian Lynch, the trainer now has. So, yeah, I think 15-1 Queen's Command. I am going pretty far down on my list here to grab Queen's Command, but I like the value we're seeing here. All right, race 5. Got a bunch of horses look like they could be scratched. I'm hoping one doesn't get scratched. The 1-horse Power Washed is going to be the pace setter in my opinion, but like I said, for the first race, we've got about half the field here that we haven't seen yet. They're firsters. So there could be a pace setter in there that ends up taking the pace. But right now, from what we know, the 1 looks pretty forwardly paced here. My safe play going up to my 3rd pick overall and the power rankings. Beach Wedding is a firster. Comes with Gaffleone and Walsh from Mendelssohn as well as is the sire. So in a race like this, I am definitely thinking firsters have potential here. It's a wide field. I don't think the horses that have races in them stick out a whole lot. So in my value play, Bembridge Ledge, 10-1 firster with Maker and Saya's running strong 5 furlong workouts going into this race at 10-1. I think you're getting a lot of value there. Could see a couple firsters on top here, in my opinion. All right, moving along to race 6. Number 1, Little Blaze. As you can see, my number 4 horse there is the one that I think is going to end up taking the pace, pushing the pace. Is what they're showing as the pace tendency here, but with every other horse being 2 tiers back or just off the pace, I think pushing the pace is going to be enough for this horse, Little Blaze, to take the lead early on. But my safe play here, I'm going up top here at 5-2, the 8-horse Musical Romance. So there's 2 Saffy horses in this race, and Saffy, as we just showed on the 3rd slide here, has had some pretty good success at Kentucky Downs last year. In this race, he's putting Tyler Gaffleone on the 8. That's good enough for me to say that he thinks that's probably the best horse. No offense to Edgar Zayas. Won twice, best speed figures for the distance. So yeah, it's a pretty good thinking that this might be the horse that that ends up winning the race here. Value play for me, I'm looking just a couple steps down there, right below the 2nd Saffy horse. I'm going to the Hartman horse with Rafael Bejarano. Miss Tappy Tone at 8-1, best closing numbers of the field, and we are talking about 6.5 furlongs. Only sits 2 tiers back, but most of the horses in this race do. I think with a closing number that big, I got a 5 on this horse. That could be good enough to get yourself in the money. Moving on to the 7 here, 7th race. Rich City Girl, the 8 horse. The second horse that I've got ranked here is the horse with the pace advantage, a 2. So pretty good chance, especially knowing what we know about the field. There are 4 horses that sit just off the pace, but being a pace setter here, I have a feeling that the 8 horse, if it gets the advantage, will run out to the front. My safe play here, I'm going up top at the 5 horse Lady Orient. Sits just off the pace, but closes really hard. I mean, you can see the closing number of 4 here for horses just off the pace. That's pretty significant. Could end up running away with it if Lady Orient gets a clear nose ahead of her there. And then I'm going. Let's see. What am I going to do here for my my value play? That's right. Assuming the 14 horse does not get scratched. I really like Daisy Duke here. 92K maiden special weight winner, tied for the best win of the group. I believe the 12 horse also had a winner in the same class range. Cassie plus Ortiz, and you're getting 15 to 1 on Daisy Duke. Whoo, kick them daisies. That's what I'm talking about. Next up, we have race 8. We're getting closer to the end here. Race 8, Accomplished Girl, I have as being a pace setter question mark. Yeah, that's right, because I don't know if Accomplished Girl, a lot of horses sitting just off the pace here, so it's really hard to differentiate. None of them show that green early pace tendency, putting them ahead of the others. I'm going to guess it's going to be Accomplished Girl, though. My safe play here, Bling at 7 to 2, ran third at these Kentucky Downs in the G3 Music City last year, closing from the teens. Strong performance last time out. Really hard close to get herself up there into the money. Value play here. I'm going to stick with Accomplished Girl, the 8 horse. 5 to 1, best overall win. Best overall win, second place at Kentucky Downs last year. Jose Ortiz on the mount again. Looking back at horses that have run successfully at Kentucky Downs, I feel is very important because it is such a weird, odd track. You see some crazy numbers. I mean, they're deep fields too, but there's the downhill, the uphill, the weird angles. A lot of weird things can happen. So you want to see a horse that's had success here a lot of times, and you hope that that translates into this race. So Accomplished Girl is going to be my value play, even if just 5 to 1. I went a little bit safer here just based on the performances of 2023. And then race 9, we're moving on to race 9. Die Surprise, my pace setter here, the 5 horse, who I've ranked very low here, but looks to be the pace setter. Possibly also getting a little bit of challenge from Fantastical, the 15 or the 16 rather. That's assuming Fantastical doesn't get scratched out. 16, probably going to take a couple miracles for that horse to be in the race, but a safe play here, Sam's Treasure, the 12 horse at 5 to 2 in the money 5 out of 6 times. Has the best single win of any horse in this group. The 13 horse right above it, Mrs. Gambellini, only run one race previous to this, so I decided to go on Sam's Treasure purely based off of seniority, I guess you could say, purely based off of experience, showing more over time of being in the money. So yeah, I'll take Sam's Treasure over Mrs. Gambellini, even though I've got a slightly higher rating on Mrs. Gambellini, but just off one race, as I mentioned. Value play, I'm going to go down pretty far here. Bear with me. The 10, Copper Copperum. I hate these names. At 20 to 1, that's my value play here. My biggest value play of the day, I believe. Torres and Asmussen got second in a 500K stakes race last year at these Kentucky Downs. Second, a very close second um, on this horse, Copper M. And what did I say? Let's take a look at past performances. Let's take a look at how they've done at these Kentucky Downs. Copper M, only a couple horses, I think, in this race. That was the most impressive finish to me. So I'm going to give Copper M my value play for race 9. And now we move on to Tap It. Pace setter here, assuming record points in this race. Definitely stuck out to me as being the pace setter here. But then you've got 3 other horses that were showing up as pushing the pace. So record point, assuming in the race, is going to be pushing. But you also have Uncle Jake, 14, could also get scratched. No, Noses Off, 13, could also get scratched. And then I've got Champion's Dream. So assuming everything past 12 gets scratched, I'll say Champion's Dream is going to be the pace setter, but assuming they don't, Record Point looks to be the one. Moving on from that discussion, though, safe play for me here is the 10, looking up top and Chasing the Crown. I mean, Chasing the Crown, 5-2. First or second place in 9 out of 10 last races. Fifth place in one race in the middle. Heavy stakes race, I believe it was. Second place last time out at KD. So the horse not only wins and places, but it's done so at Kentucky Downs. Maker plus Jose Ortiz. I mean, this is a good combo here. A really good combo. 5-2. I know you're looking for a hell of a score at Kentucky Downs, but you got to take a look at the horses that I think are going to be in there. And speaking of that, Harlan Estate. Here's your value play. The 8 horse Harlan Estate. I've got him number 3 on here at 10-1. Winner of this race last year by 1 3/4 lengths with Declan Cannon on the mount. Now it's Joel Rosario. And getting 10-1. I mean, I know the horse hasn't done a whole lot since. I think that was the last win that the horse had. But again, coming back to Kentucky Downs, get a little bit of familiarity. Um, yeah, I 10-1 seems like a pretty good price to me. Moving on to the final race, the pace setter here in this race, maiden special. We've got a few firsters here, but of what we know, we could probably say Clock Tower is going to be the pace setter, also my safe play. 9-2, ran twice, took the lead in both races, stretched it out a bit, and yielded to other horses down the stretch for second and third place finishes. Now, JP Spencer on the mountain here, trained by Wesley Ward. Third time out. I really do like third time out for horses, especially ones that are paced forward. Sometimes that third time is when they pull it together, stretch it out properly, and get the win. Horse last time out, I believe, was off turf at 8 furlongs, and now they're going to be on turf at 8 furlongs. So we'll see what happens. And then my value play. I'm going for a firster here because we do have a lot of firsters in this race. We've got a lot of firsters with good trainers, and sometimes things happen. I'm going to skip past the highest ranked firster I have, which is Chapman's Peak. The 12 at 7-2. I don't think I can call that a value play, but I can call Major Mischief a value play. Bill Mott, Jose Ortiz, first time out, Into Mischief being the sires is my second of firsters. But in terms of value, it is number 1. So there you have it. Kentucky Downs, opening night, opening day. Um, just excited. Just excited. I hope you guys are too. Let me know what you think of the picks. Let me know if you guys have some better picks out there. Hit me up in the comments. Love to see it. And good luck to you all.